You are welcome to another episode of Stay Safe with Mercy. In our last episode, we discussed about some of the causes of home fire accidents. Today, we shall be talking about suppressing a fire that has started with a fire extinguisher. When a fire starts in our home, it creates fear in us as we become confused on what action to take. Having a fire extinguisher at home and knowing how to operate it gives confidence, and putting off the fire becomes easy. But then, there are different types of fire extinguisher for different purposes based on the source of fire. We shall break this down for better understanding. A fire extinguisher is an equipment designed to release extinguishing agents, depending on the class of fire, to put off fire at the early stage. Classifying fire makes it easier to understand the type of extinguisher to use and not to use. Generally, classify a fire from flammable solid substances such as wood, paper, furnitures, plastics, fabrics, textiles, etc. Class B fire a fire from flammable liquids such as petrol, spirits, paints, kerosene, etc. Class C fire a fire from flammable gases such as our cooking gas. Class D fire a fire from metal. Class E is electrical fire from electrical appliances, electrical sockets, cables, and fires from faulty electrical connections. Class F fire a kitchen fire such as cooking oil and deep fat fryers. Generally, there are 5 types of fire extinguisher: water, dry chemical powder, CO2, foam, and wet chemical powder. Now, how does a fire extinguisher operate? For a fire to start, 3 things must be present: heat, source of ignition, and oxygen. However, removing any of these 3 elements will suppress the fire completely. This is how a fire extinguisher operates, by removing one of the elements of fire. Water fire extinguisher operates by removing the heat. Water can only be used for class of fires. For example, fire from wood, plastic, paper, clothes, etc. Its panel color code is red. Dry chemical extinguishers put out fire by coating the fuel with a thin layer of dust, separating the fuel from the oxygen in the air. The powder also works to interrupt the chemical reaction of fire, so these extinguishers are extremely effective at putting out fire. It can extinguish Class A, B, C, and D fires. Its panel color code is blue. For CO2 fire extinguisher, carbon dioxide extinguishers work by displacing oxygen, or taking away the oxygen element of the fire triangle. The carbon dioxide is also very cold as it comes out of the extinguisher, so it cools the fuel as well by removing heat. It can be used to extinguish Class B and E fires. Its panel color code is black. A foam fire extinguisher puts out fires by covering the flames with a thick blanket of foam. In turn, this deprives the fire of air supply, thus undermining its capacity to release flammable vapors. When directed towards flammable liquids, the foam allows the liquid to drain from it before forming an aqueous film. It extinguishes Class A and B fires. ITD panel color code is cream. Wet chemical fire extinguishers contain a solution of potassium which effectively attacks the flame in 2 ways. Firstly, the mist cools the fire and lowers the temperature to stop the fire spreading. It also prevents splashing of the hot oils, fat. It extinguishes Class A and F. Its panel color code is yellow. We shall stop here for now. Kindly watch again to have a deep understanding, as it can be a life-saving knowledge when the situation arises. Watch out for the concluding part where we shall be explaining how to use a fire extinguisher, when to use it, what to do if your cloth gets engulfed in fire, and other general safety tips on extinguishing fire. Stay in touch. And don't forget to stay safe. Bye bye.